Because of the spiral shape of the slide, they couldn't see around the corner to know that right around the first turn was a special secret waiting for them. So they all climb into the slide, of course, and as they go around the first turn, Emma, who was the first person in the train, just screams. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another Worn Kibbles video, and I know what you're thinking, early upload this week? Yes, but don't worry, I've still got another story posted for Thursday as always. These stories were just so good, I had to do a mythical double upload week, but this story is from one of my friends about the worst playground lore in the world, so lock in, press that like button, and let's get right into it. Alright, so real quick, we're just gonna call my friend Emma, and this story happened back before the days of Fortnite, back when kids used to go outside to play. I know, crazy, right? But anyway, there was a park in my friend's neighborhood that was absolutely peak. I mean, there were swings, a teeter-totter, those things that you can sit in and spin around until you want to throw up, the good stuff. Along with all that stuff, there was also a big playground with lots of different slides, and the best, biggest, tallest, and fastest slide was this one bright red spiral tube slide on the far side of this playground. Now, my friend Emma, along with her siblings, loved this slide. As I said, it was like the biggest, fastest, most exciting one at the park. However, they didn't get to go on this slide every time that they were at the park because there was kind of this gang of teenagers. Well, I don't know if they were actually teenagers, but they were just like a few older kids who were obviously bigger than the little kids, and this gang of bigger kids always hung out at the playground and would kind of scare the little kids away. Which, bro, I mean, like, I get they're kids too, but genuinely, that's so lame. Like, you're really gonna go to the playground and sit there and be like, no, this is the Wolf Clan gang's territory, or something like that. Like, you're really gonna be like, no, you can't use it, to like a little 6-year-old girl who just wants to have fun. Like, that's so lame, literally taking candy from a baby. But either way, Emma had never specifically like met these teenagers, but she had heard basically urban legends about them from friends and other kids who had run into them or gotten chased home from the park. It was so much of a problem that like even the parents in the neighborhood like kind of knew about them. They kind of knew that these kids were troublemakers, and they tried to keep their kids away from them, which I get the idea, but it kind of just reinforced their power, turning like the Wolf Clan into just a full playground dictatorship. So after a while, all the kids in the neighborhood began like basically looking out for the Wolf Clan and hoping that they were there. I mean that they weren't there, excuse me, and so that they could go to the park without them there. And so one day, it was a beautiful day outside. I mean, the skies were crystal clear, birds were chirping. It was the middle of the summer, and so of course Emma was like, "Hey, let's go to the park. I don't care if the Wolf Clan is there. They can be there if they want. We just won't use the slide today." She basically begged and begged and begged their parents to let them go because it's a beautiful day. What else are you going to do? And finally, her parents agreed. And when they got there, they were kind of like, oh my goodness, this is great. It's a perfect day because they realized that the Wolf Clan gang that was usually there was gone. They weren't there. The throne was empty. So they're immediately like super excited. Today just keeps getting better and better. Really, everything is awesome. They decide the first thing that they're going to do is go down the big red slide that was always guarded by these kids. They run up to the top all excited, and they start arguing over who wants to go down first. Like, you know how siblings are. They're after a long argument of like, no, I want to go first. No, I want to go first. They decide that they're all going to settle it by having the three of them go down together. Like, they just make a train, each person sitting in the other people's lap. I don't know if you've ever done that before with people. I know I've done it with some of my friends. Honestly, this person's a better person than I am because I would have just argued with my siblings until I went home. But anyway, they decide that they're all going to go down together. And so they make this train thing in the slide and they push off into what they are soon to find out was one of the worst decisions ever made in the history of childhood. Now, because of the spiral shape of the slide, they couldn't see around the corner to know that right around the first turn was a special secret waiting for them. So they all climb into the slide, of course, and as they go around the first turn, Emma, who was the first person in the train, just screams because what she is now barreling straight towards at full speed is a giant pile of poop. That's right, the Wolf Clan wasn't there anymore, but they had to make sure to march mark their territory, if you know what I mean. So, of course, Emma and her siblings are now all clawing at the side of this slide, just trying to slow down, not to run headfirst into this steaming hot pile here, but sadly, their efforts were futile. Because of the train that they had made, they just got like pushed down and down by the person behind them. Like none of them could stop. And so they slid down, getting up off the slide before they started to exchange these absolutely bewildered looks with each other. I mean, for the first minute or so, it was like their eyes were glazed over. They were in a trauma response, but once they came to, they realized their grim reality. Emma and her siblings are instantly like 100% convinced that it was the Wolf Clan. They probably saw their parents walking up and decided to leave a landmine for the next kids as a way to mark their territory one last time. It's actually devious. The poo was everywhere on all three of them, on their legs, on their hands, on their clothes. So they quickly ran over to her dad, who at first thought that they were all covered in mud. I mean, I wouldn't exactly expect my kids to come up to me all covered in poop on some lovely summer's day. So of course he goes, "Why are you all covered in mud?" And Emma's brother had to break the news that this was in fact special mud, courtesy of Wolf Clan. His jaw dropped. He quickly reached for his phone to call their mom, telling her to bring a bucket of soapy water because they were way too covered in it to even touch the inside of their van. So they went to the park bathrooms and had to try their best to use the paper towels to clean off, which, if you've ever used park paper towels, you know that's basically like trying to clean a mess with a piece of sandpaper. And once their mom arrived, they had to clean themselves in the bucket, in the middle of the street. Like, imagine the neighbors driving by, seeing a full-blown emergency roadside bath happening. Not exactly your everyday sight. But anyway, they went back home and took a bath to get rid of the stench. That's the word that we'll use there. You know, the Wolf Clan's scent might have been washed away, but they definitely left a permanent mental mark on Emma. But anyway, guys, that's about it for the video. And moral of the story, obviously don't mess with the Wolf Clan or else you'll get covered in poop. They're a pretty serious gang. They'll bark at you real bad. But as I was saying, it is a double upload week. That means that we've got another video coming out Thursday, and you don't want to miss it. Make sure you've got notifications on because this next one is about a girl who was obsessed with me in 7th grade. It's one of many stories that I've got to tell about her. So if you like the video, leave a like and of course subscribe. We want to try and hit that 500 by the end of the school year. Let's make it happen. I know we can because you guys are all amazing. I hope you all have an amazing day and I'll see you on Thursday. As always, thanks for watching.